Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video. and we finally have the new Bojack as well as the Zanya revealed to us. So what I'm gonna do is go through the quick overview of what I can tell from the Japanese, even though I've actually already translated these, but I have the Homie Garesh's translations up here. But just try to give you a walkthrough on my initial thoughts for the unit, right? So I've already seen the super attack animation. It's clean as always, clean as always. Um, so we have Bojack here. Unfortunately, he's going to be extreme strength instead of pretty much anything else, right? Because Extreme Strength is probably the best typing in the game. Sorry, the best. Actually, you could say Extreme Int is a little bit better, but Extreme Strength is probably the second best, at the very least, villain typing in the game. Um, by a fairly decent margin. Via this guy, Turles, Omega, just to name a few. So I was hoping what they would do is they would make him extreme int, so that he can share the same typing with the LR Bojack. By the way, this guy shares 6 out of 7 links with the LR Bojack. His links do not change upon transformation. He shares 6 of 7, the only one missing, of course, being legendary power. So I was hoping he would be extreme int for that reason, or he would be extreme tech because Kami knows the extreme tech desperately needs a bunch more units for them to really pull themselves together. And the thing is, it's not that extreme tech is necessarily bad, or rather, there are no good extreme tech units. It's just the problem is every good extreme tech unit does not work with each other, right? So you have, okay, Golden Frieza, and you have what? Second form Cell. They don't really link. They share like maybe what, 2, maybe 3 links. Of course, second form Cell is a support, so that doesn't really end up mattering too much. But you see the problem here, and then okay, you have, maybe you want to say LR Goku Black, because LR Goku Black, especially post the update, is pretty good. I believe they have big bad bosses, right? So yeah, that's a pretty good unit, and they raise defense on their super attack. Yeah, that's pretty good. What link are they sharing with Golden Frieza and Cell, right? You have Super Saiyan 3 Broly. He has some pretty mid defense, but his offense is excellent. What links is he sharing with Golden Frieza and Cell? Fierce Battle? Pretty much it. He gets no key. There is one thing, an excellent thing. You have the Cell rotation, which is first, second form, and perfect Cell, all extreme tech, of course. Those 3 obviously are half the team, and they get the job done. Those 3 are probably the only units in Extreme Tech I would say, okay, you would use them, probably. The thing is, though, the Tech Cell is orb hungry, but then again, so is the second form support cell. Anyways, I'm going off into a tangent about Extreme Tech and how good it is when I should be talking about the man of the hour, that being, of course, the Extreme Strength Bojack, right? And he leads a new category, Warriors from across the universe or something like that. 3 key 170 to stats. And if you pay attention, maybe you can see he also leads time travelers, giving 3 key 150. But let's take a look at the translations that Goresh have. I believe base is here and then transformed is here. So let's see. Bojack, Lord of Slaughter. Thanks to the homie Goresh, by the way. Um, His leader skill, oh, space traveling warriors. Okay, that's what Garesh has translated as. So I suppose I'll call it that. Space traveling warriors, category 3 key and 170 to stats, as well as time travelers 3 key and 150. This is the same leader spread as Goku Black. So while Goku Black is not entirely put to the side, you do have an additional option here, and well, a flat out better option as well. Take a look at this. His Cosmic Bomber super attack allows him to raise his attack and defense for a single turn, as well as causing immense damage to the enemy. Which is actually pretty good. You'll see, I believe strength units get what, 4,600 to defense and 5,000 to HP. So, he'll be like what, 13k with that. So, him raising defense for a turn, he can actually be, I'm thinking, 120, 130k, maybe pre-super even. Let's take a look at this. His passive, it gives him a solid 100% attack and defense, yeah. And here's where to decide to turn him into cooler. So again, you'll notice cooler also gives himself 100% attack and defense, but on super, instead of raising his own attack and defense for a turn, he lowers the enemy's attack and defense. So this guy, moving on to the next part of his passive, supports his own category with 2 ki and 30% when there is one enemy or more. Okay, pretty good, but so which means he'll be getting this all the time. So obviously if there's one enemy, he'll be getting this. And I assume if you're using him, there's always going to be one enemy. And if there are 0 enemies, you're not in a fight anymore. So he gets an additional 10% when there are 2 or more enemies, and it gives an additional 10% when there are 3 or more enemies. Now, based on this, this means that this is actually added on not to his own buff, but to the support buff. Meaning, when there are 2 or more enemies, rather, he gives 40% attack and defense to his category, and when there are 3 more, he gives a monstrous 50% to his own category. His active skill is a transformation and is very nice. 4 turns and 1 enemy, of course, once only. And his abilities, he transforms, and he becomes, his links stay the change, actually, again, so he shares these links, all these links with, the LR Bojack. So the LR Bojack now, obviously has the same leader, but his super attack effect, he now stacks attack infinitely, just like Cooler. 3 key and 100% 3 key and 180% attack and defense, just like Cooler. He performs an additional attack that has a medium chance to become a super, again, just like Cooler. Now, he gains an additional 30% and defense 15% when collecting 3 or more key spheres, as well as an additional 30% and 50% defense on top of that when collecting 6 or more key spheres. Well, well, well. You think about how that support. First, I don't believe the details of his category have been revealed just yet, so we'll see really how impactful that support is. But I'm thinking based on space traveling warriors. Now, does this mean time? Well, actually, I suppose it would mean that's why he leads time travelers as well, right? So space traveling I suppose warriors that have again traveled across the universe to fight someone. Which leads to some interesting things, because does this mean that Turles, and of course the brand new LR Turles, will then be on this category? Because pay attention now, this guy has Terrifying Conquerors, and Turles supports Terrifying Conquerors, so they'll share a couple of links. Imagine a rotation of him and Turles might be one of the highest damaging rotations in the game, to be fair. This might also include Vegeta and Nappa, the Saiyan Saga variants, of course, because they did in fact travel across the universe to go to Earth to, of course, use the Dragon Balls, but they ended up fighting Goku and the Z Fighters. This might also include Raditz. Raditz gets another category for the same reason. This will most likely include all of the Golden Friezas. Obviously not the true Golden Friezas, like the ones with the halo, but the Resurrection F Golden Friezas, who traveled across space. This might also include Mecha Frieza, that obviously we only have a strike card and I believe a World Tournament card, so that isn't too impactful, but it's something to think about just in case we get something more substantial in the future. Now, what I'm wondering, and this is a big thing, will this include Cooler? If you think about, will this include Cooler? Because you remember Cooler's goal was to travel to Earth to see the Saiyan that defeated his brother. So would that count? And of course, this would include Meadow Cooler as well, because of similar reasons, I believe. So this category, imagine this guy, Bojack here, and Cooler being able to run on the same team. Now, obviously, you'll be able to run them on the same team regardless of whether or not Cooler is on this new category, because, again, oops, they are on Terrifying Conquerors, right? So, as well as Transformation Boost. So, they're on both categories, or he is on both categories that Cooler supports. So regardless of whether or not Cooler is in these brand new category, you will still be able to run them together. But of course, does this make Cooler? The question is, does this make Cooler even better with the support? Because Cooler himself, of course, supports. Um, if Cooler is in this category, he will be able to support Bojack. They'll be able to support each other, giving each other at the very least 4 key, as well as the 6 key from leaders. So they're starting out with 10 key, assuming 0 links are activated. Um, so this Bojack and the Cooler might actually be quite a nasty rotation. I'm thinking, obviously, you want probably Bojack and Bojack if you're running the lead together, and Cooler, though that used to be the rotation because um, Cooler shares all 7 links with himself, and Bojack will of course share all 7 links with himself, and I believe 5 or 6 with the LR variant. So of course, obviously the LR Bojack will be in here. So again, the LR Bojack getting additional support, which is going to be pretty insane. You think about how good LR Bojack is right now, and think, oh, he's going to be getting support as well. Crazy to think about. Anyways, I believe that is it. I'm probably going to might do a cut here, just to see if there's anything really about Zanya. It looks like she lowers enemy attack. I'll just do it real quick, actually. No need for the cut. So she lowers enemy attack and defense. Looks like she has they really are. She's extreme tech, by the way, at least. They really are making it just like the Cooler release, because if you remember, the Cooler released with the Cooler's Armored Squadron, right? And the Cooler's Armored Squadron um is actually built quite similarly to Zanya in this case, right? So you have the Cooler's Armored Squadron, who gives himself 30% per Terrifying Conqueror's ally on the team. You look at Zanya, she's doing the same thing. First of all, 120 to the category, just like here. 120 to the category, to the new category. So she gives herself 30% attack and defense per ally of that category. And if there is a blank category enemy, she does something magnificent, as well as apparently lowering attack and defense by 20% and healing 10% of the damage dealt. I believe. I don't think this is start of turn. Again, I cannot really read the Japanese. I can only provide some rough translations. If I were to try and sit down and translate it thoroughly, we would be here for a while because I'm very, very slow. So again, this is just me breezing through the surface level thoughts here. But of course, I don't believe I'm too far off here. Um, I'm not sure what this category is, at least not off the top of my head, because it's not anything that I would necessarily think is relevant to Zanya, because I'm thinking, okay, Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, Goku Fam, Vegeta Fam, maybe Super Saiyan, but it's none of these. That is not none of these. So I'm wondering what it is, and I know it's not any of her categories because her categories are listed here. Of course, she has the new category. Is that Res Red Warriors? Peppy Gals, of course. Terrifying Conquerors, and I believe this is Time Travelers. So obviously, it's not any of her categories. So it's very, very interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for us. I'm looking at the recording time. We're at a little over 15 minutes now. So I think this will probably wrap it up for us this time around. This Bojack is probably going to be one of the I'd probably say one of the best units in the game. Um because of the fact that he's kind of like Cooler. He's like a Cooler 2.0. Not necessarily saying that he's flat out better than Cooler, but he's 2020 Cooler, right? If that makes sense. He's a 2020 Cooler. So yeah. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something new, please be sure to leave a like. If you disliked the video, please be sure to leave a dislike, especially if you didn't learn anything. My name is Luna, also known as Luna the Programmer. That's probably gonna wrap it up for me, and yeah, bye.